Hey, guys, welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate that. Welcome to each and every one of you guys who are logging on to this call from around the world. This is Jason L. Scott the First calling you from, I'm actually here in the Carolinas, and Andrea Hart, as always, I appreciate you, young lady, hosting the call, doing what you do, becoming an incredible leader. Matter of fact, we just spent an incredible time up there in Kingston, New York with yourself and your team as we launched that Kingston marketplace, and I'm super excited for your success and all the brand new team members and family members and customers that you were able to acquire while we were up there. But guys, as I jump into this Vision Mastery call, make sure that you get your pen out, make sure that you get your pad out, make sure that you're always on these calls, even if you have a call that's just for leadership, a book that just says leadership on it. All right, so because when you start to develop an organization and team, you're going to always refer to these notes. You're going to always refer to these trainings. You're going to always refer to these things. Matter of fact, there's several people that I work with in different countries. And I know as I was working with the young lady from the Kim Lights organization that's out that way in Trinidad and Tobago, and as I was speaking with Anne Marie and Allison, and Anne Marie was saying, Miss Scott, I'm going to be meeting with my team and my group, and I got tons of notes from when you were spending time with us out here 2 years ago and a year ago. All right, guys, and I say that because that's what this thing is all about. It's about you knowing that when you have a chance to plug
Entry and exit times are off.
Get the information, when you have a chance to learn and study, it's about learning that there's a language to this business. There's a language to speaking vision to the people. There's a language to speaking and where it becomes authentic. It's not one of those things where you have to kind of stretch and figure it out and always say, man, I really wish I knew what to do. You know how many times I've talked to people and they'll say to me, Mr. Scott, I just really feel like I don't know, just something, I feel like something else I got to know. Well, it's learning that there's a communication factor, there's a communication and a way of speaking. There's a language to home business. There's a language to networking. There's a language to working with the people and getting people to see themselves bigger, see themselves better, see themselves better than what they are. There's a language to that. All right, guys, and because there is a language to that process, I want to make sure each and every one of you understand. If you're not on Project 100K Revolution, I recommend you get there. Now, if you can't, just take some strong notes. Take some copious notes. We say copious. Copious means a lot. Just take a lot of notes. Just get your notebook ready. I said get it ready. We're about to get busy. Because I want to talk to you guys today about the vision of this process of why we have this vision mastery, is to keep people's mindset focused forward. Focused on the vision. Vision is what you envision. Focused on your belief. And sometimes just focus the right way. Sometimes someone can say something to you that you already absolutely know. And you know how you know? So they say, you say to yourself, you know what? I know that. Oh, my goodness. But sometimes you know these things, but you haven't exercised them in so long. It's kind of like knowing a workout routine or knowing how to play basketball. You know, I say, I know. Man, I've been playing basketball since I was a kid, but you haven't played in a while. And then all of a sudden now you get out here in the court and you still think you're as young as you are. You think you're still as agile as you were. You know what I'm saying? You start getting out there. Then you start realizing that you're not as swift. Now, that don't mean that you can't be that way again. You're just a little rusty. You haven't worked out. You haven't put yourself in a position. So therefore, sometimes we forget these things. That's why tonight I'm going to kind of cover with you guys like what this business is really about. All right, and if you're online, I'm going to cover these things with you so you can understand what I'm talking about. When I say what this business is all about. See, when we enter these companies, we got to understand that this business that we're doing is about something. It's not just about, it's as simple as saying, we know that there's two things that we focus on, right? Retailing and recruiting. This business is like a traditional business, sure. Retailing and recruiting. Retailing, when you have a brick and mortar business, you actually go. And when you go to you actually go and you buy things on wholesale, you sell it retail. That means you have a brick and mortar business. You buy a wholesale, sell it retail, and then you hire people or you recruit people to work for you. But we have a click and order business in which we do the same thing. We buy wholesale, we retail, but we don't hire people, but we do. We do have to be able to inspire. See, we don't really hire, but we have to inspire the people. See, because the type of business that we have, guys, it's not really about the products, it's about the people. So even though in your brick and mortar, you're going to buy wholesale, sell retail, you're going to hire, you're clicking orders, you're going to buy wholesale, sell retail, but you're going to inspire. And you must learn to inspire the person. See, there's two things that changes a man. There's inspiration and there's desperation. And either you're going to be inspired by something I say, something Katie Thomas says, something Peggy Saunders says, something that Andrea Harding says, something that you're going to hear another leader on the phone like Debbie Linda say. You're going to hear somebody say something on the phone or in person, or they're going to do something that you're going to say, you know what, they're right. Man, they're right. When I'm looking at what they're talking about, what they're doing, if one man can, another man can. If they're doing it, I know I can do it. But also, it's either inspiration or it's going to be desperation. Either you're going to be sick and tired of being sick and tired of always having people not believing in you, always having people telling you that you can't, always showing up for people and wanting them to see that you're going to give all you can for them and want them to see that they can trust you, want them to see that they can believe in you, but yet they don't do anything in return to show you that love back. And sometimes when that happens, guys, there can be such a dysfunctional relationship that you can have with anyone when you feel like you're taken advantage of, feel like you're not taken care of, for all these other things. But let me help you understand this. I want to make sure that you recognize that sometimes those feelings, they're invalid. Sometimes it's just us. Sometimes it's us and how we're used to things being done a certain way. And because this business is one to inspire, which means this home-based business and network marketing is like a voluntary army. See, when you have a brick and mortar business and they hire you, what makes you show up all the time is for you're going to get hired and then you can get fired from not showing up. And because you can get hired and you can get fired from not showing up at your brick and mortar, that's what drives you every day. But in a home-based business, we can inspire. But people, there's nothing that's going to say that a person has to get up today. There's nothing to say the person can't say, you know what, I don't got nothing on the books today. I don't have no one to talk to today. My team is not doing anything today. Nobody's doing nothing. So I'm just going to sit back and instead of me networking today, I'm going to Netflix. See, there's nothing that drives you in this process, and I'm saying that except you understanding what this business is all about. Now, let's talk about it in this way. Now, when it talks about what this business is all about, guys, there's three things I want you to focus on. First of all, when it comes to you building this type of business, first you must build it in your mind. You're going to build your business three ways. So write that down. Take notes on that. You're going to build it in your mind. You're going to build it on paper. You're going to build it in the field. Or like I tell people when it comes to the same process with vision, you're going to see it in your mind. You're going to see it on paper. And then you will see it in the field. That basically means once you kind of say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to get directed done. Like I remember when I talked to Peggy Saunders and Ken Saunders, they said, let's go, we'll get directed done this week, and then they got it done. Dr. Tasha Boone, even though she's been practicing, she's busy, she was really focusing on her practice and other things she had going on with the other classes in school, and then she told me last week, a couple of weeks ago, she said, I'm going to go directed this week. Now, then she just did it. See, when people say to themselves, you know what, I'm going to focus on this because I understand this business is about me. It's about my emotions, my thoughts, my process, and my actions. Me, myself, not well. I can't get it done because my sponsor is not there to help me. My sponsor hasn't gotten me to direct it. We're going to do what you do at the job, and we're going to teach you some things. But after we teach it to you guys, you got to understand that you must sit in your mind first. Then you write it out in your schedule. That means we see it on paper, you get your calendar out and you schedule events. You schedule to get people on the calls. You schedule to get things happen. And then after you schedule these things, then you go execute these things in the field. Guys, this business is also about personal development. That's why I say, guys, this thing is about inspiration. It's about you understanding that you have to learn to inspire yourself as well. Not just always sitting to the sidelines and, man, nobody was here to inspire me today. You know how many times you got up at that job and you weren't inspired to get up, but you were inspired to not get fired. That's what your inspiration was. No firing for me today. You won't fire me, not today. You won't. Now you're gonna get up. That alarm clock is going. It's on your nerves. It's aggravating you, and you're still gonna show up even when you don't want to, because you know that if you don't show up, you're gonna lose what you have. So you have to understand, doing what we do, it's about your personal development. It's about you saying, you know what, I'm going to get up, I'm going to show up despite. I'm not going to worry about anything. I'm going to show up despite. See, guys, personal development is there. So when you hit the wall, when you hit this wall and stuff, when you hit this brick wall that we like to talk about at times, guys, you got to understand it's really about activity and more personal development. Because when you start to hit the brick wall and then hitting the brick wall, then you finally say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything. You know what, I'm just going to sit back to the sidelines. You know what, today I'm just not feeling it today because I hit this brick wall today. That's where personal development comes in at. That's where the, you know what, let me get myself up and get moving comes in at. That's why it's also, it's important that we talk about the activity, guys, it's about being consistent with activity. See, when you're consistent with activity, it becomes like a habit. It becomes habitual. It becomes habitual in such a way that we're going to always, it's like a job. You know how when you know, see, nobody has to remind you of anything. You don't go, I almost forgot I had to go to work tomorrow. Oh, my goodness. Let me get out of here. I almost forgot. Nobody got to remind you. You know how we send a reminder text messages out, and we send a reminder calls out. And how we do that that's just a reminder. That's not you saying, well, when I say to you, well, what happened to you? Well, you know, you didn't call me. Or you didn't see me the text, so I didn't know. Well, when we first taught you all the different things, that's why I recommend, guys, if you haven't been on our team site lately, don't wait for nobody. Don't say you don't know what's going on. When we have a schedule, we have a class schedule that's part of the Dare to Dream. You can go to teamngd.com. You can click on the 4-step training. You can, as a matter of fact, Aileen Galera put it real big and bold where it said, click this document here. Click this. Click right here. So sometimes people say, Ms. Sky, I logged on, but I didn't know. Click this right here. Click this right here. This right here, get the document in your hand. And you have your class schedule or your itinerary. When you got that, guys, you got to learn to be consistent. That means when you know that there's 9 o'clock calls, then you consistently get people on those. You know there's 10 o'clock calls, you consistently get people. You're promoting consistently. When you know there's a Sunday call, you don't have to say, well, Mr. Scott, we having a call today? Yeah. Well, it's a holiday. I know. It's like if I had a gas station, would you want me to be open on a holiday while you and your family traveling? Oh, so you would. Okay, great. Well, then we open the same way here in this process. But you got to learn, guys, you got to be consistent. And in your process of being consistent is where you start to develop these habits through your consistency, through the things that you got going on. All right? See, because doing what we do, guys, you understand that success is a process. Success is a process of what we got going on. And because success is a process, you want to put yourself in a state of mind, guys, that you're willing to endure. You're willing to become more. You're willing to go through the process. You're willing to go through the progress of it, which is going through the process. You're willing to endure. And when you say to yourself that I'm willing to endure, then these things start to come up. Then these things start to become real for you. But you got to be consistent. You got to understand that success is a process. See, this whole thing, guys, is really about our belief system. Listen, you got to raise the bar. You got to put the bar up. See, when you say to yourself, you know what, my belief system, what is my true belief? Because if you really understood your belief system, you know how people say, I can do whatever I put my mind to. Well, put your mind to financial freedom. Put your mind to doing 3 samples a day. Put your mind to saying, somebody gonna get this tea today. Or you better believe somebody gonna buy this chocolate. You put your mind on that. Put your belief process on that. Put that in your mind that that's what's going to happen. Make that what it is that you're going to do. Make that your primary focus. See, this whole thing, guys, when it comes to you understanding that you have to raise the bar on your beliefs. Raise the bar on your actions. And I promise you guys, you're going to be raising the bar on the results that you're going to have. See, because your belief times your actions is going to equal the results that you're going to have. You guys got that? See, your beliefs times actions is going to equal the results. Don't just respond. Just see I see you texting on the corner. You say you want to know what days and times for this webinar. This is a vision mastery call that we do every Sunday. That's a call that we do each and every Sunday on this line right here, guys. This is what we do every Sunday. So that's the time we got at 9 Eastern time. Thanks a lot for that, John. All right. So again, guys, when it comes to this process, you want to focus on your beliefs. Focus on what do you really believe? Why is it that you're showing up? What is it that's really driving you? What is it really? See, this business it's not about the products are going to move. See, when you learn to move the people, then the products are going to move. But you got to understand that it's about you knowing that you have to raise the bar on your own belief. Because if you don't believe that you're worthy, if you don't believe that you're great enough, if you don't believe that it's your time, if you don't believe in the things that you say, if you don't just believe, guys, then you start to feel negative. So your thoughts are going to lead to your feelings. Well, I don't know. And your feelings, they're going to lead to your actions. Because if you feel that if you don't really feel good, then you normally don't want to do nothing. You want to sit around. You want to relax. But then, guys, the actions are going to lead to results. So when you're taking no actions, then you get no results. So how long are you going to take no action? How long are you not going to believe? How long are you not going to control your feelings? Every time I talk to people, the majority of the times I'm talking to them about feelings and controlling this and this things. And I do a lot of voice notes and chats with different people at times because I can't always answer all the phone calls. So I might get engaged to a couple of chats for a little bit, and then I'm off to something else I'm doing. And I remember last week, Anne Marie had hit me, because she texts me, and her and Allison text me all the time, and Elena and other people from the Kimberlite, they hit me like constantly throughout almost every single day. I'm getting something from them somewhere. So she asked me last week a question, and the question had to do with emotions and my focus and stuff. And she's like, and I know, sir, that sometimes it can be frustrating like this. Isn't it true? Don't you ever get like that? Because you always seem calm in this process. And I said, well, I had to learn to control my emotions through the process. I had to learn to control my situations through the process. I have to learn to control, okay, let me help you guys understand. See, I know this about the feelings, right? So because I know it's about my feelings, I recognize that the opposition sometimes is going to try to break your feelings. It's going to try to break you. And the opposition is going to try to do so many different things that it can get into your mind, and it can become so destructive that it can hurt. And it can stop you from moving forward. Let me give you an understanding. I'm like everyone else. I have a lot of different things going on all the time, and I'm like still moving forward despite. But you understand, I got children, I got grandchildren. My son is about to have his first daughter and stuff, or his first baby was going to be another grand that I have and stuff, and that's going to be like any day now. So that's one thing that I'm constantly aware of and what I got going on. And I'm just saying these things just as conversation. I'm not saying it because one thing about me, you're going to find I'm very private. I don't like to always mention certain things because I don't like just how I am. I'm just that way. I'm a old school New Yorker. I don't like certain things out and about. I don't talk about my family much in a certain way. I talk about them in such ways people understand I'm just like you. But I don't really give a lot of personal details. It's just me, just how I am. I know some people do, but I'm an introverted person, which means it's uncomfortable for everybody to start asking me a lot of personal questions. So I don't want to always delve into personal stuff. That's what it is. But I've learned to be able to build the business and understand that I have to help people through their process. So sometimes I'll say little points like I'm going to say right now. So I got that going on with my son. So that's something in my mind. I can't be too far because I want to be around so I can get a chance to get there and be around when that happens because I'm just that type of dad and granddad. All right? And then my other son, he got some situations and challenges and stuff that was going on, with the law. And because of that right there, now that's something else that I have to deal with in my process because I'm trying to work these things out. So then I got another son that I'm just finding out that has been deeply entrenched in substance abuse and all these other things I'm just finding out in the last weeks or so and stuff that's really been debilitating with my emotions, and I'm trying to control it. And even as I'm talking to you right now, just thinking about it, and the hardships of all this stuff that I'm having to deal with, I'm having to fight my emotions back so that I don't start to break down on this call while I'm giving the training. But I'm telling you about this whole process of life. All right, and then I get another call at like 3 o'clock in the morning. My daughter's crying hard. I'm like, what's going on? What's up, baby? What's going on? Now I'm scared and nervous because she's not saying nothing. But somebody ran into the back of her vehicle at a stop sign like 3 o'clock in the morning and stuff. Put the whole back end of the wheels and trunk, all up into the trunk, all into the back seat. Now the thing is this, that's for my daughter. My daughter always has my grandson back there. What if that ever been in the middle of the day? What if that been? She hits her so hard that it literally pushed her all the way out pushed her all the way through traffic, all the way to the other side. Now, what if it would have been a truck? What if something? See, of course, as a parent, my mind runs there. But I also start to put those things out of my mind because I don't want that to be anything that I attract in my life. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Now, the whole thing, the vehicles, that's another situation now. The vehicle is actually total. I'm spending time trying to do these things with my kids and my grandkids, trying to figure out all these other challenges, all these other stuff. But still, despite all of my life situations and other things that I'm not even going to speak about and even put on the rest of it because it's not even about that, but I'm still showing up to this call. I'm still showing up for the people. I'm still showing up because I believe in what I'm doing. I believe that all things are possible for all of us who believe. I believe that I'm destined for greatness. I believe that I have a purpose, and I'm focused so much on a purpose that the outcome is the outcome, and outcome is what life is. And when life has the key to your door, and he comes in the front door, you must be going out the back door because you got things to do, and you cannot focus on the outcome of it. You must learn to focus on the purpose. So because I focus on the purpose, because I keep showing up, because I keep doing what I'm doing, because I'm not going to let these things stop me and slow me down. See, I recognize that my thoughts lead to my feelings. My feelings lead to my actions. My actions lead to results. I get all of that. But I show up because I say to you that we must show up. Not show up every once in a while. Not show up here and there. You know how many times I talk to people and I got so many different leaders that plug into what we do here at our organization and our team. Because I just open it up because I know there's different people. Sometimes your organization can get so big that people feel like they're lost. Or sometimes the leader can give it in such a way where he can make a connection that other leaders just can't make with you in a certain way. Sometimes a person, based off of their experience, can be able to break things down for you in such a way that seems so simplistic that it just opens your eyes and you say, you know what, oh my goodness, this just made so much sense. So there's leaders that I talk to. Some are my workout partners, some are regional, some are nationals, even global executives in the company that we connect. We talk on the phones and stuff, and they're workout partners that we kind of grow each other with. But also I got other leaders up and coming that want to be plugged in and want help. And I'm like, plug into the calls. So I can't help everybody all the time. I still work on my individual groups and teams. But still, I got the ones that occasionally tell me that based on the fact that we still show up as a team, we still show up and we bring value as an organization, that we bring value in such a way that is able to give them insight, that they can move, put more food on the table for their families, do more for their groups and for their organization. But if I don't show up, if I decide that I want to let my feelings, well, I ain't got no time for that today. Let somebody else do the call because I'm just going through too much right now. I almost lost my daughter for this process, and I just can't get on the calls right now. My son is going through substance abuse, and it's breaking my heart, and I ain't got no time to deal with this right now. So somebody else do the call. No, I'm still here. I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up because my purpose is so much bigger than that. And when you have to learn that you must show up, despite that, guys, that's when you really understand that that's what this business is all about, right? It's really all about that process of you showing up despite that. Guys, you start to talk negative, you start to fail. When you start being negative about your process, you start to fail. And you can't be negative in your process and stuff. You can't be allowing the negativity of life and negativity of situations to set you back. Sometimes you have to disassociate yourself with the wrong people in order to stay positive. Because so many people, they want to be negative. So many people will always try to tell you all the different things. I don't tell you nothing about that because that's a negative statement. That's life. Life is what it is. Normally I tell people about these things after I've gone through. So see, when you're going through things, and you want to always tell everybody all your situations. I don't say nothing because I want no sympathy. I don't want none of that stuff. That's not why I do it. I don't even say it for a response for sympathy. That's not why I say that for people to understand I'm just like you, and I keep going. So I'm not going to just say it. I'm not going to teach you hypothetical theories and practices and principles. I'm going to tell you what's necessary, what I have to do in order for you to become an entrepreneur that you're going to have to do. Because if it's your job and these things happen, you still show up for your boss, period. You can tell everybody else all the stuff you want to tell, but you may take a day off or two because you got time that you can take off, but you're going to show right back up, period, end of story. And because you do it there, then there's no difference in what I do right here. I'm showing up despite that right there. But you got to disassociate yourself from people who always want to just be connected to negativity all the time. always want to try to tell you all the wrong that's going on in life, all the wrong that's happening in this situations, all the wrongs, and they want to constantly be in your ear all the time with all the negativity, all the wrongs, all of this. And because what happens, we typically start taking on the emotions of other people. That's why I tell people I empathize with people all the time. I'm more one of I empathize. Sympathy, don't really have a lot right there because I have to learn to control because I'm an emotional being. And because I'm not just saying because I'm human, it's my personality. I'm very emotional. I'm very connected emotionally. I can feel people's energy. I can feel when I'm around them. If they don't feel right, I can feel it. It's just certain things that I can feel. It's kind of how I am in that process. So because I am that way, I recognize that when I'm around certain people sometimes, and I know when people want to tell me certain things, I have to sympathize with that. Empathize with them. Empathize with that. If I take sympathy and I start taking on their emotions, then I too. You know how many times when I tell people it's kind of like life. When he comes knocking on the door and you look through the peephole and you see that there's life out there, and you know there's life out there, you look and you see him through the peephole. And your wife or your husband or your spouse tells you, do not open that door. And you're like, but babe, that's life. You know we go way back. It ain't nothing but life. No, don't open the door, babe. You got to go. Go out the back door, like Mr. Scott said. When life won't come to the front door, you got to go out the back door because you got things to do. Yeah, babe, I hear what you're saying, but Mr. Scott always say those things. He say all those things. He don't know about my situation. He don't know about how I am. He don't know about how I like to help people. He don't know about how I like to feel. He don't know. He think he know, but I'm going to tell you, young lady, that I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. Nobody got to tell me what to do. I'm going to open the door because I feel like it. I'm in control of myself. Life is not going to get me down. Hold 1 second. Open the door, and the life runs right in the door. He go, hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, listen, life, I was about to run out the door because I gotta actually go to some meetings I gotta do. I got some networking to do. Wait. Before you leave, I do want to tell you first. Now, you do know that the car broke down, right? Oh, huh? But I'm about to go to, I know you want to go, but you got a flat tire because the battery's dead. Matter of fact, when you crank it up, you're going to find the engine not even going to start because the engine is blown. Oh. But I was just about to, hey, I know you about to do that, but also, I don't know if I told you this, but, the job, remember that job you said you was going to go, you said you was going to kind of, you're going to go to the job tomorrow. Well, it ain't there no more. So don't anticipate on going there tomorrow because I forgot to tell you yesterday, the boss, he left a note, he left a voice note, and I deleted it by accident, and that you can't come to work anymore because the job is shut down. What? Wait a minute. I'm sorry, because I'm about to leave. But before I do leave, I do want to make sure that you know that your son or your daughter, they're actually going through this problem with drugs and stuff like that. And I'm saying this. Now you. Hey. And I don't know if I told you this, but since you and I started talking, since you don't want to listen to your spouse this last time, they actually, while me and you were talking, they actually packed their bags and they went out the back door and they left you. Wait, but she went to the store. No, she ain't go to the store. She left you because she got sick and tired of you saying what you're going to do. The one day, babies, one day I'm going to sing in a cruise. One day I'm going to change. One day I'm going to do something great. One day this time is going to be the real time. 2015 will be my year. 2016 will be my year. Yeah, I know I said in 2014, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 was going to be my year. But this time, well, she left you this time because you always said the same thing and you never did anything different. So she left you. Okay, well, I'm a man. I'm a woman. Well, I can take it. So, but I tell you what, I was gonna go out today, but just because I just don't feel like right now, I'm just gonna sit on the couch. I'm gonna sit right back on the couch, and instead of me going to go networking, I'm just gonna sit right here and I'm gonna Netflix. See, you thought that you could let life in. You thought that you could sit back and you can take on the emotions of life. You thought that you could let life get in there with all the negativity. But the life can get there and try to give you all of these things when you had all these aspirations, these hopes and these dreams, and you let life come in because life does what life does. And there's nothing to you understand, guys, that you got to disassociate yourself with people who like to bring their life situations to you all the time. That's why I don't tell my stories because I don't want nobody to take on, man, Miss Scott, we have so much on. Let's see if we can. That's not why I say those stories. Because I'm like everybody else. I'm not the only one that got a lot of stuff going on in their life. So I just, people, this whole being transparent all the time? Because sometimes we like to call it, why don't you be transparent? Well, you also just use being negative all the time, because the transparency part is the fact that I didn't tell nobody, but I went through this, and this is the results, and you too can have these results. Oh, Mrs. Scott, I sure didn't know. Oh, Miss Saunders, I had no idea that you was going through something like that. Oh, Dr. Boone and Walter Smith, oh, why, Aileen, Galera, I had no idea that you were going through something like that. See, when you have gone through and you have gotten to the situation, and you go through it and you grow through these things, that's when you can be transparent. But some people call transparency the fact that they want to say, well, let me tell you all about what I got going on. And it's not transparency. To some people, it's a release. And it's a release on life. And to those who are going through it with you, when you're going through this struggle, it can make them feel bad, because now they start to feel bad for you. You guys got that? That goes on with that whole process. So because I'm aware of that, I normally, and I've apologized. I had to apologize to one of my leaders one time before, because I was with them and I was upset about a situation that happened at that moment, and I was like, and I just started blurting out all this stuff, and that's not how I roll. And then I had to literally say, you know what, I apologize for that. There's no way as a leader I should ever say, well, I know, Mr. Scott, but you're just a human. Yeah, I know, but I'm also a leader in this process. And I apologize for even letting myself have a moment like that where I lost my footing. So, guys, our whole business is about putting people on a platform of hope. Because from hope, people feel like they have a chance. And then when they start to feel like they have a chance, they start to feel like this is something they must do each and every day. Then it grows from must to something that they say, you know what, I will do it, Mr. Scott. I will be a teacher. I will go out and I will build something for my family. I will. See, Benjamin Disraeli said that nothing can resist the human will that will stake even its existence for the extent of its purpose. And when you know you have a will, when you know that your will, like he said, his will be done, his will shall be done, so shall your will be done, because he gives us free will. So even though we may hear it all the time that it's already written, well, there's already variations that's already written out for you. People don't really think about it in that process. They don't understand there's variations that's written. When they go, I leave it in God's hands. Well, he left it in your hand because he gave you free will. He just let you understand there's variations of the outcome that can happen. And based off of your own free will. So don't sit back and try to use that as an excuse. Well, I'm not going to do anything because God got me. I'm not going to do it because, it's all in God's time. Well, what God has for me is for me. Well, he wants you to go to work so he can really show you what's for you. Don't sit back and try to use that as an excuse to do nothing. Because it's easy to use that as, well, I'm just going to sit back and do nothing because it's all in God's hand. Well, then don't show up to your job. Why are you going to work? It's in his hands. Is it his? Well, because I got the job. Yeah, because when it came up, you took action to go get the job, and you've been taking action to keep the job. So in order for you to do the same thing in your business, you got the business. Now you must take action to keep your business open. Keep the doors to your stores open. You must fight for this process the same way you would fight if you had a brick and mortar business. You will not let your brick and mortar business go down. You will say, you know what? I'm going to give it all that I have, and I'm going to show up each and every day to make sure I can have my quota met, so I can be able to pay to keep my doors open. This whole process, guys, our belief system, it changes when you speak of what you want. See, it changes when you speak of what you want instead of speaking about what you have. See, a lot of times we have ourselves in this process where we just look at what we have, see what we have with our physical eyes. And because that's all how we see things with our physical eyes, sometimes we look at these things with our physical eyes, guys, and they can be debilitating. Because in our mind's eye, we see ourselves as champions. In our mind's eye, we understand, like I said before, a lot of times, that inside of each and every one of us are the cellular memories of generations of survivors and fighters and those who have died and those who would not die so that we could be free. That's our process that we know in our mind's eye. I'm deserving of freedom. I'm deserving of what's about to happen. I'm deserving of that. That's in our mind's eye. But then we start to look with our physical eyes, and we start to look at what we have in our hand, and we start to look at the relationships. We start to look at the bills, and we start to look at the bank account. We start to look at every one, and we start paying attention to them and not paying attention to ourselves. And we focus so much on that Now, we're no longer using our vision. Vision is what you envision. Vision is what you see in your mind's eye. Vision is how you see yourself. What you want from yourself, what you want out of your life. See, we got to learn, guys, that our whole process of moving forward is understanding. You have to understand where you are, but you don't make it any worse than what it is. You always got to make it better than what it is. It's okay. I'm happy and grateful now I grew up in the projects in New York. I'm happy and grateful now that I grew up in the Bronx and I grew up on welfare. I'm happy and grateful now that I was poor the way I was poor at the time, and I was broke the way I was broke at the time. Because there's two things I want you to understand. Broke is a temporary status, poor is a mindset. But when I had understood my mindset of being poor, and when I understood that a culture and a psychology that's dehumanizing, it comes from years and generations of hearing that you can't and you're not good enough, and who do you think you are? When I started saying to myself that I am good enough, that nothing's going to stop me, I am worthy. When I started feeling that, I started seeing that, I started doing that, nothing, listen, nothing is impossible when I am possible. I am. When I am possible, nothing becomes impossible. Only then does the possible happen, really. That's why your belief has to be strong. Your whole process of you understanding has to be strong. It has to be, guys. We have to understand we have our hands on something big right here. So it's okay that you got to go through this process. There's a magic in high numbers. Matter of fact, that's a book. And it talks about the fact that you got to go through a lot of. So if you go through enough numbers, you're going to succeed. Now, the thing is this: what happens is we start to go through numbers, and we'll let other people think too small. They'll make us think too small. See, write this down: a leader's vision has to be bigger than those that he leads. So you must always keep a superior vision about what's happening, a superior belief about what's happening. You got to always show up for yourself. You know how many times, like I said, we want to know why we can't move, we show up. Either we show up late or we don't show up at all. We show up at the last second, then we look around and what happened? Where's everybody? Everybody's hit. What's going on? Well, because we so used to wanting to show up and just want to show up and already be dressed. Want to show up and always want to be the life of the party. But sometimes you got to show up before the party begins. And you got to show up and you got to set the atmosphere for the party. You got to be able to be the one that show up so that everybody can have a good time. What about that person? What about that person inside of you that must show up? But in order for the party to be a great party, the person that has to do the dirty work and show up before everybody else gets there. Now you can still have a great time because you're watching and seeing that everybody's having a great time because of what you put in place. But you got to show up and you got to show up early. But when you start to show up, guys, and you understand that you can't think small in this process, don't think yourself as just a person that just shows up at the last second. I'll just show up when I show up. So, guys, God created you and I to be the best that we can be. He created you to be wealthy. He created you. He created us from the unseen. He created us to be able to see. So you got to always think big, and you got to always believe in you. I don't care who doesn't believe in you. You believe in you. I am possible. I am. Nothing is impossible when I am. The great I am says that I am possible. I am the one. And when you know this, and you understand this, and you believe in you, nothing that no one else can say that says to you that can tear you down. And nothing can get into your mind when you know. See, power is not granted. Power is assumed. But people have been in so much pain for so long, they don't even believe in themselves anymore. See, there's a level beyond pain, and that's called suffering. And some people have suffered for so long, they don't even know they're suffering anymore. But guys, you got to understand that your life is going to become better by change, not just by chance. You got to do something great for yourself in order to have greatness that's going to come to you. So what this business is all about? What is it really all about? It's about all the things that we talked about. It's really about you. It's about you understanding your beliefs. And contrary to your beliefs, you are worthy. And I say contrary to your belief because you say that you're worthy. But if you really say it and you really believe it, you will really go at this thing and set to accomplish every goal that you set out. You know how I know? Because I've been working with leaders that's in my organization and leaders not. I do it all the time, different people. Sometimes I take on a project of somebody who I know that I can help them because I can see it in their eyes, and I can see that I don't have to do the basic ground up project done. I don't have to do the foundational project. You're just giving them a couple of different. Okay, turn this way. It's kind of like somebody had the little piñata hanging up above the up in the air. Somebody can turn you around, and they can just let you go, and you just walk around swinging. You're nowhere near it. Or the person can turn around, and I can kind of shift you a little bit to the left, shift you a little bit to the right, and now you start heading that direction, swinging, and as soon as you hit it, and now in your vision, you kind of got the vision because you remember where it was hanging. You remember how high it was. You remember where it was at. You remember the shape of it. Now you start swinging with all your might, and you keep on swinging, and you keep on swinging, and you keep on swinging. Then all of a sudden, all the great things that you were swinging for starts to come out. All of the sweetness, all of the great things, all the happiness, the joy, and now all the fruits of your labor, all the spoils of that war, all your friends and family can run over and everybody can grab their fair share. But sometimes it just takes that one person that after you spin around with your eyes closed, with your vision, see, with your eyes closed, you still must understand that you saw it first. You saw it in your vision. Then with your eyes closed and you made those circles and those turns, somebody still can give you a little bit of direction. It doesn't take much, just the right direction, and you start swinging. And you start swinging. And all of a sudden, now you make contact, but your vision comes to light. Then all of a sudden, I watched it happen to so many people. I gave them a little bit of turn here and there. They started walking towards the goal. They're beating the mess out of the piñata. Then all of a sudden, they was like, Mr. Scott, I can't believe so much more volume is coming out. I can't believe so much more activity is happening right now. I can't believe that do you talk to your team like this all the time? Is this what your people get all the time? Is your group getting this all the time? Oh, my goodness, I just got this for a little bit, and this is already happening for me and my team and stuff. Thank you. So, guys, see, I'm focused on my purpose. And my purpose is to empower the lives of the people, all people, not just the ones that I can benefit from financially, because knowing that I can help somebody else, because I'm going to sow into the life of somebody and other people. It's like this call. I'm between the webinar and I'm looking online. I've got probably about 100+ persons on this call right now. That's online with us right now, between the webinar and the conference line. Majority of them probably not even in my personal organization, probably not in my team, my group. Don't matter, because sowing into you tonight, giving you this purpose tonight is more empowering than anything else. See, because sowing into you God's going to automatically give me back what I'm looking for. Because they always say it all the time, that service to many leads to greatness. So what is this business about? It's about service to many. So what you think controls what you speak. What you speak will control your beliefs. What you believe will control your actions. And whatever your actions are will control your results. So we must be focused. See, guys, there's a difference between hearing and listening. And I say it to you guys all the time. I say it all the time about our difference between, I say it all the time, there's 4 levels of listening. Listening to, T-O, listening at, A-T, listening with, W-I-T-H, and listening for, F-O-R. And listening for is the highest level of listening. See, most people hear, but few listen. Because if you're listening, the highest level of listening, you start to do what you hear exactly like it said. Because when I tell you that's how you're going to get directed done this week, or that's how you can get regional done this week, or that's how you're going to get national done. If I say it and believe it, see, this whole process of what I'm doing, it takes a team effort. So once you start getting to a certain level, you only get to a certain level by yourself. The rest of that is going to be who's going to go with you, who's going to work with you. Who's going to work with you so like right now I'm on my way to national. Who's going to work with me so that national can get? It's not about me. I got to work with somebody who wants to get regional done. Can I spend time breaking somebody to regional myself and putting all my efforts into that person going regional? Of course. But I'm looking for the person that wants to step up themselves and get regional done themselves. It's like you. You're looking for people that's going to step up themselves, because what you focus on will expand. What you don't focus on, it dies. So you must focus on what it is that you're looking for. Exactly what you're looking for. What is business all about? Personal development. That's why they say when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. So, guys, you got to study. Study to show yourself approved. When the network is ready, listen to me. I just do a nugget. When the networker is ready, the network will appear. It's not going to appear. It's not going to be. You're not going to get the network and then you're going to become a leader. You're going to become a leader now, and then the network will start to appear around the leader. See, business will only grow to the extent that you do. That's why this business is all about personal development. That's why this business is about also setting goals and hitting your goals. You need to have like 6 to 12 goals on a 3x5 card that you're going to read every time there's negative space. When nothing's going on, you're pulling it out and you focus on your goals. Negative space, whether negative people around you, or negative space when you're in between you pull your goals out so you can stay forward focused. That's like your carrot. And then, of course, guys, one of your major goals should be building for events. This business right here, guys, your network is going to expand out from events. Unfortunately, you're gonna find that there's always going to be the ones that's not going to be willing to do what it takes, not going to want to show up. They're going to feel like they're exhausted. They've done too much, or until I make money over here, I'm not going to do it over there. They're not want to stress themselves anymore because they stressed themselves before, and then they'll start saying, well, I've hurt my back before when I did that, so I pulled the muscle doing that before, so I already know I'm not going to do that right there. So they automatically say to themselves that I'm not going to do certain things because I've been there, done that. I already spent money on that event. I already been there before. I don't need those events. I don't need stuff like that. Well, guys, if we didn't need those things, they wouldn't exist. But these events, there's a reason why they have these events, and there's a reason why we must show up. They've had a big event in Houston this weekend. The next event that they're going to have, guys, the event that they're having right here that's going to be on the East Coast. It's right there in Raleigh, North Carolina. I recommend all of you guys start getting to that event now, and more importantly, getting your people there. If you're in my personal team or organization, I'm already anticipating that I have the majority of the room. You got to already in your mindset. You come in with a huge group. There's no way I should be in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is not too far from me, and I got 5 people from my team. Same thing with you. There's no way you should be coming to any event and it's just you by yourself. See, guys, when you come by yourself, you learn. When you come with a team, you'll earn. So you got to come with a team of people. So what is business all about? Plugging in until you win. Not just for 24 months. You know, I tell a person, we'll say plug in for 24 months, but it's not for just 24 months. You got to stay committed until you succeed. It's a guarantee that you're going to become somebody else in the process. Set a goal for earning $1 million, not because you're going to earn $1 million, but because of who you're going to become in that process. So you got to learn you got to stay plugged in for 24 months and beyond. So what happens if you stay plugged? I'm going to do it for 24 months. And for 24 months, you're just starting to become the right leader. So it's not that you can't, not that this thing doesn't work. They're looking for leaders. And if you find yourself always, 1 second is growing, next second is falling apart, then it's growing and falling apart, or it's growing and falling apart, or nobody wants to deal with you, or every time you turn around, every person that you have in your group is always at odds with you, or somebody's always mad at you. I'm not saying it's one thing if we stand in front of the room and we become this mythic, gothic legend in front of the room. But when people know you personally, that's when they start to really know who you really are. When they got to spend personal time with you in front of the room, that's why I tell people sometimes, I'll say, let me demystify the front of the room so that you can really understand who I am. Because I want them to understand that I'm just like them in this process. Because we'll become so much in front of the room that when people finally find out who you are, you have leaders that don't want to deal with you no more, people that don't want to be around you, people that they don't want to work anymore, they want to quit, they don't want to do nothing. Now, it's one thing when a person is always that way, then they'll always say, man, I don't know what it is, but every time I turn around, this is always happening. Well, then the reason why it's happening, that's when it's time for us to turn around and look at us. Look at the picture on the wall or the mirror. The man in the mirror is you, is us. I have to do the same thing. But we have to put that in our mindset, guys, that we're going to become somebody different. So with that being said, make sure you plug it until you win. Not just for 24 months, but until. All right, you guys got that? Plug into your sponsor, plug into your team, plug into the system, plug into the training calls, plug into the Super Saturdays. And as I start to wrap this thing up, guys, understand that what we got going on, what this thing is all about, is about distribution of volume. Volume and velocity. Write this down. It's about volume and velocity. Increasing the number of voices that are speaking about hope. Because that's all people want to know is, I hope that this thing works. Can I really make this thing work? Can I really do this? So what you tell people, that's why I teach PS3, Peak Interest Shoulder Plan 3 Recall. I teach a certain posture that you must have. You got to feel a certain way about yourself. Kind of like when you know how you dress yourself up in the morning before you go out to work, Pam? Just when you're about to go out, Pam, you say, Marissa, and you look at yourself in the mirror, you say, oh, yeah, I'm hurting today. You know how you get dressed and you say, oh, yeah. You know how you look at yourself, you're so fresh and so clean, and you like, oh, yeah. I'm a hurting today. That same belief that you have, that same posture that you have, when you look in the mirror, you're like, oh yeah. You just got your fresh gear on, the nice outfit you just got. You couldn't wait for today to wear it. And as soon as you put it on, you look in the mirror, and in your mindset, you like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna see me. You're gonna walk out the door and nobody see you at all. But when you walk out that door and nobody see you at all, you still, like myself, I can walk out the door right now, and in my mindset, they're playing the Bee Gees. In my mindset, I'm like, well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. In my mindset, everybody see me. Oh yeah, you'll see Jason L. Scott the first. Yeah, you may act like you don't see me. Yeah, I see you looking. Don't try to just turn your head. Yeah, you see me. See, in my mindset, that's how I roll. Now, nobody can be paying me no attention, but in my mind, yeah, you know I'm here. You see me. You can turn your head all you want. You see Jason L. Scott the first. Today you do see him. And when you feel that way, that's like leadership. When I walk in a room, people, they can't always tell. They say, I don't know what you know. I know you know something. Or they'll say, I can tell by the way you did this. I can tell by the way you spoke. I can tell by the way that you just knew something. Because all it was my personal belief, my personal confidence, my whole process of me understanding that what I'm doing right now is the same thing you're doing. It's about your posture. See, I'm not a TLC salesman. You're not a TLC saleswoman. And you understand that you have an international franchise-like business. I always tell people a lot of times, I said, let me give you one of my business cards. Let me give one of my, I hand out one of my cards. I find out when I say, hey, let me give you one of my cards, a person can be about to get in their car way off. They'll turn around, they'll stop, they'll look at me, they'll put their hand out, and they'll start walking towards me like I got a magnet. Like the magnet, it's like I'm calling them. Like he's calling me. It's like I'm calling them. I say, hey, let me get one of my cards. And I put it between my two fingers like I'm all postured up. Like, here you go. And I stop in one spot, and they'd be like walking way across the parking lot with their hand out, waiting for the card. When they get there, I'll give them the card and stuff, and I'll tell them, listen, sometimes I say, anybody give you a free sample today? Did anybody from my team give you a free sample? Did anybody from my group, because there's a whole team of us out here today. Anybody from my marketing group give you a sample today? They'd be like, no, sample of what? See, I'm going to get them. See, I knew they were slipping. Anyway, we launched the 5 and 5 campaign. Who do you know like lose 5 pounds in 5 days? You know anybody like that here? You get paid an extra $1,000, $3,000 a week doing that? I sure would. Well, great. See, guys, when I posture up, in my mindset, everybody, see, that's the easiest thing for me to say is, hey, let me give you my card. Because everybody always stops. And when I got a card, I don't care if it's a card, flyer, banner. It could be a pack of tea with my name, the logo on it, with my little sticker on it. I said, let me give you one of my cards. And that could be what the card is, a tea. And because it's a packet, they can't see what that is. They come walking with it, kind of like looking like, what's that he got in his hand? They come all the way over there. And I say, anybody gave you one of these free packs? Anybody gave you this sample? Anybody gave you this? Anybody talked to you about this right here today? No, nobody tell me, well, what's that right there? I'm going to get this here. I knew they were flipping in this area. Anyway, I'm new in this area here. I got an international e-commerce business that I operate here. But where's it from? See, my address, my street name is Hillbrook. So when they say, where's it from? I say, Hillbrook. It's over Hillbrook. But anyway, I got several distribution points all throughout the U.S., all throughout this area here. But anyway, they launched this 5 and 5 campaign. Who do you like lose 5 pounds in 5 days? You know anybody like that? I sure would. See, guys, when you got to learn to posture yourself up. Have the right mindset. Have the right posture. Have the right belief about yourself. Don't just be a TLC salesperson. Know that your business is structured correctly. Know that you have something that can be internationally known. Know that you got something that's strong on supply and demand. Know that you got several outlets all throughout your marketplace with every person that you got. Note that every person that you bring on board, every person is a prospect. Every person that's a prospect have a chance to become another outlet that you have. You got to know it. Know that when you find these people, that you're going to actually start to go through these people and start to tap into your target market. Guys, for the sake of time, I can actually go into target markets and things like that, but I'm going to use that as another training for another time. But guys, just learning that when you know what you got your hands on, and you know you got strength and you got belief in what you got your hands on, guys, a lot of great things are going to start to happen for you. You're going to find that great things will happen, and it'll happen really fast. So as I wrap this up, guys, understand it's about your vision, seeing the end from the beginning. See what you already have, what you already want. See what you already have your hands on. You got to already see ambassador, and you're just taking the first steps to get there. You already know the end results. No matter what anybody tells you, it's already done. If you don't have the vision, lean on somebody else's vision. Lean on the vision of your sponsor. Lean on my vision. Lean on it. Lean on me. Lean on somebody else right now, guys. Whoever you got to lean on, if you can't muster it up, lean on somebody else, because you got to have the belief that no matter what, you're going to win. No matter what, you are going to win, because it's already done. You got to have that look in your eye. Have the faith to know that there's nothing else but winning in your mind. There's nothing else but to win. There's nothing but winning that you have in your mindset, because this whole process, it's about freedom. Never comes price. There's a price to pay for financial freedom, and that price will be paid up front. But start faithing for your freedom. You don't have to fight for it. Just faith for it. Faith for it, and take the actions necessary to stay home, so that you can travel, so that you can do what you want to do in your life. So your boss can stop telling you what you're worth, that you're only worth $8 or $6 or $10 an hour, so that you can prove to yourself that you're worth it. So you can have time, freedom, so you can have time and freedom in the same sentence. See, everybody wants the glory, but they're not willing to live the story. How do you faith for it? Make sure you're giving out samples. Make sure you're having wild parties. Make sure you're doing the conference calls and the launch calls and the VGOs, and make sure, guys, that you're plugging people, you and yourself, into each and every event, because events is where your business is going to be able to take it to the next level. I appreciate each and every one of you who logged on to the Dynasty call. Guys, I pray that it's been informative, that was inspirational, it was also empowering to you and your family today. But let me ask you right now, as we're done, do I have any leader that's on the back line that have any comments and statements that they want to share about what we shared about in this call tonight? Any leader on the back line? Press star 6, maybe, I think, but unmute your phone lines. Any leader on the back line?
Mr. Scott, can you hear me?
Who is that? Fadia Thomas?
This is Miss Fadia Thompson, sir.
Miss Thompson, I'm sorry, Miss Thompson. Fadia Thompson, take it away, young lady.
Pardon me?
I said, take it away, young lady.
Mr. Scott, what a phenomenal call. I've already said this to my team and my organization. For those of you that don't know me, I'm one of his outside projects, and I'm a witness to everything that he just shared. Well, I actually met this man in Orlando a couple of weeks ago. He happened to be gliding through launching some people, and I met at the WOW party with the McCraes, and I had one question for him. And since then, we've been in communication, and I'm telling you, like, the things I have learned from him in the little time we spent together. He doesn't, always get a chance to pick up the phone, but he'll send a voice note, or, he'll get on the phone for a few minutes to just kind of help me shift my thought process and my mindset. And I'm telling you all, like, the stuff that he's teaching us is the truth. If you take the time to apply it, if you take the time to plug your teams in. I know a lot of us come into this business and, we've never done anything like this before. Maybe you've never seen success like this, success as you're seeing, and you're hoping for it. And I'm telling you right now that if you stay plugged into this man and his training, I mean, I could talk about the results. I send him stuff all the time. I'm like, oh, my God, this just happened. Oh, my God, this just happened. And it just keeps happening. So I just want to say to you, Mr. Scott, thank you once again for all that you're doing, all that you're pouring and investing. I don't know if you hear my phone going off. That's my team. They're excited. Okay, y'all can stop messaging now. We're on the call. But thank you.
Well, I appreciate you, Ms. Thompson. Well, you already know, like I told you, definitely when you we talked on the inside, and you caught me just as I was about to get in the car, and you asked a couple of questions and stuff. We gave you some insight. But like I told you, all this process, all the stuff we got going on is mind. It's about understanding that this whole process that we have going on is our mind. It's about how we focus, how we think. It's about understanding that this whole thing that you got to get it into yourself, that it doesn't matter what happens, what you're going through. It's about this, you understanding that it's about your attitude of mind. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do, what happens to you that makes the difference between winning and losing. And I appreciate you, young lady, because, again, like I said, you're not even part of my personal organization. There's no financial gain on anything that I've been able to give, but I do know, even though that's not financial gain by company, but it's a spiritual gain. It's a financial gain that's going to be paid back because of the laws of reciprocity. But even for you just being a leader and just stepping out, like I always tell leaders all the time, when we open the call, step out, stand out, and let your voice be heard. And you're not even part of the organization. You're the first one to step out and let your voice be heard. So each and every one of your leaders that's on the call, help you guys understand you got a strong leader with this young lady on the phone. But, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you who logged on to the Vision Mastery call. It's already our 1 hour of power. Make sure you guys get back with your leadership. Plug into your work week. Put some great things on the books so you can have some incredible runs for you and yourself and your organization. Let this be the week of all weeks. Let this be the time that you and your family are going to get out here and make some great things happen. But always remember, given the sum total of all your decisions, you cannot change who you are, but given new life, new vision, new unity, you can change who you become. So with that, each and every one of you on this call, get director done, get executive director done, get regional done, get national, get global done, guys, get ambassador done this week, and let's all just become. You guys have a great one. Love you all. Bye now.